G'day. Welcome. I am, as people here are aware, the Lime Bus, and today we have a Division C West game for Nexus Gaming Series of Artemis facing off against Bork. Also, welcome everyone in chat. Voriel, I can see you there. But we do have him facing off. Again, I don't know who first picks, who map picks, because I don't like spoiling myself for series. That is a little bit, I do like being surprised of what is to come. And boy howdy, I think we have a good series, because both these teams do well in the seasons that I've seen them go. So we are going to be entering Battlefield of Eternity first, which is always just a fun map where you can slap each other silly and see what happens. I also want to know that Artemis banned out Tomb of Spider Queen and Dragonshire, while Bork Side of Moon banned out the Garden of Terror, and I'm just looking at a blank Curses Hollow, which makes me hope we get a Braxis holdout game. I know it's not going to appear, but I still dream, I still hope, I can still pray that it is going to. Right, we are going to be getting into it now, so let me go on over to the game, shall I? So, on the side of Artemis, we do have Dark Horse from Bavarian Ashken on the, I think it's how you say it, Ashkan, on the Li Ming. Neo is on the Vala, honestly is on the Inuba, which honestly, I've seen him do great at it before, and 7 was S3V3N, if you prefer. I do not want to bet at Shrines, because I'll lose my mind if it is. That should really be my bet. Is this next series going to have Shrines involved? But a little bit late now. But we can see the 7 of Lucio. On the other side, we do have Yatre on the Hogger. We also see Silver Spy and when 10 Phoenix, for whatever reason, we've decided to give 10 Phoenix. Dreadmore is on the Garrosh, and QT Puppy is on the Hanzo. I'm like, Bowman, Hanzo. Also, welcome Silver Spy, I hope you're doing well. Again, I'm always surprised when people let Tin play Phoenix, considering I know it's like his best hero. Or at least one of his best heroes. I don't know if it has changed in recent times, so I know he is a very good Phoenix and will jump at any chance he gets to play them. So we're going to have a quick look at talents at level 1. We do see Phoenix going Vance Beyblade build. Auto attack build is advanced targeting. I can never remember Phoenix's talents. Also see that ignore distractions on the Hanzo. Redemption, my bad. Redemption Hanzo. Variant has gone Lions more. Interesting note. And Vala is going that puncturing arrow. Yeah, I'm surprised he has snuck through as much as he has this season, considering he has been considered, well, I consider him at least a very good Phoenix. One of the best ones to have I have seen to play. You can see Hogger is going to be doing top camp, and we can see that Tin is making their way up top as well. I imagine we do see the variant just for shattering throw in of itself. Dark Horse shows their hand early, which all while Tin is just below them. Which now they have shown in waves, so the enemy team knows he's up top. It is going to force Dark Horse out, but we see immediately there's a rotate bottom by Artemis onto that bottom camp. Dreadmore doesn't have the easiest time dislodging any of these people, especially because honestly, well, can burrow underbuild it. He can burrow through walls. You can't necessarily stop him from getting where he wants to. Because now we see throw up, he does burrow charge out. And the camp is taken with not really too much concerns over his Bork Side of the Moon stepping in, but those can always disappear, of course, because if honestly gets thrown, that's fine, but if anyone else gets thrown, it could be a slippery slope. But honestly, in saying that, honestly should not have used their burrow charge there, and we could see they went down because of it. They didn't have the escape to get from Garrosh, and Garrosh has a quick enough, the cooldown on throw is quick enough to where they can punish those burrow charges, because they're very similar. I think there may be a couple of seconds difference between them. Oh, we heard the smash come out. Yatre is going to start throwing trash at Dark Horse. Dark Horse gets booped in water for their audacity to smash the Hogger. Hogger was not a fan of that. Hogger is going to slowly get tickled more and more by this queue. We see 5 stacks at Varian already. Dark Horse trying their best to scale it. We see Ashkan has come up to help clear that camp, and they will disappear not too long. Speaking of which, we do see that it is the Bruiser camps being picked up by both teams. 10 cleaning out bottom and nothing on top yet, and the race will be started. Already off to a very good start for the side of Artemis. They definitely have a better race comp for that form of things. In saying that though, it can still go very well for Bork side of the moon. They do have a Hanzo who does have its Serrated arrows plus the redemption. So they can get up there pretty quickly, in fact. Once they get the auto attack stacked, that is. I think that we do see that Immortal will be dropped very quickly. Varying the course, so it went smash, and that was the only thing of note to pick up here. We don't have the piercing light to keep track of. It is just actually going to be Surge of Light, so a little bit more. What is it? A little bit more damage, a little bit longer route. A little bit more, a few more routes, I should say. 10 is smashed, does teleport out into an unexpected place. Honestly, actually burrows into an awkward spot away from the team. Now I can see that all 5 members of the side of Artemis are top, so they're actually losing a little bit of soak game bottom. They're wanting to get potentially more with this objective, but by this point it's already mainly down. 7 gets barely tossed over the wall. They do, however, have the move speed to get out. They R1, QT Puppy jumps in, and will find the kill onto them. Good use of jump there, good aggressive use of jump, in fact. So often you do see those aggressive jumps, but it's nice to see them when they do appear. And that is very good at QT Puppy. But we do see level 7s are through now for the side of Bork side of the moon, and they're not too far away from Artemis, so we'll have a look at talents once again. Nice burrow charge, but honestly, they do get out to safety. I do like the spell power reduction on Garrosh, considering it's both a Leeming and a Q build Vala. That will come in handy quite a bit. Also note that Ashkin has gone the more damage-orientated build of Calamity. They're not going to have quite the Immortal burn or the single target burn. And Garrosh does for honestly, but honestly does make it out live. Which, no, that is probably because of Unrivaled Strength. Unrivaled Strength does have a further throw range, that is true. But it's harder just to full-on combo people because you're more likely to overdo your throw into your Q. You're more likely to mess up your EQ combo because your E goes further than your Q. But in saying that, Velucio wouldn't have died before if he hadn't barely gone over that wall. So it's kind of a... it's a 50-50 on that action. On that talent, I should say. Burrow charge going into the QT Puppy. QT Puppy does need to stay alive. They are redemption, as we have noted before. And they are slowly getting stacked. We're about halfway there now, which, considering we're 6 minutes through, isn't ideal to say the least. But they are certainly trying. Which they're using, honestly, to slowly build up as a pin cushion. We now see they're at 7. And 10, however, has come underneath. Throw coming out onto the minion. Not ideal for Dreadmore. But they're doing pretty well top. And all while, Hogger has actually been bullying Dark Horse bottom. This is probably one of the hardest matchups for Varian, because Varian just needs to very much engage on Hogger. And Hogger, who's just someone who can kind of slap your way and not care. Right, honestly, he's taking a decent amount of damage to start with. Or however, Ashkin is going to have to blink out. Nice scatter by QT Buffy, actually finding a few targets here. And barely dodges the orb. 10 going to scuttle out of danger and be fine as well. 10s are closer to Bork side of the moon. That is going to be something to note here. Hogger is trying their best to continue getting them. They're still pushing bottom, which they did get the anti-armor on them, but they're still going to do well. Fight continuing out mid. We can see that Smash went off again. But Hogger's getting very close to killing Dark Horse here. Nope. 10 barely gets hit by the orb from Ashkin, and because of their build, they do get a reset on it. Dreadmore steps in, that's Neo being thrown, and Neo goes down. Hogger getting excellent spin. And that brings our 10s online, as we do see the mean beam of Planet Cracker coming straight through the team. Good kill. We do also see a Light Bomb and a Wind, Decimate Garrosh, Shockwave Hogger, and rounding things out, we do have Dragon Arrow Hanzo, which pretty good stun chain there. It's very surprised that we're not seeing the... Goodbye, 10. It's very surprised we're not seeing the taunt here, considering how combo heavy they are. But I guess if you are Garrosh just wading into the middle of things, you're potentially going to want the Deadly Calm to help reduce damage that's coming onto you. See Immortal quickly being dropped now, slow onto Silver Spy. Hogger getting the quick spin off, and actually Silver Spy's going to die. Not your proudest moment, but honestly it could have been worse. Hogger is going to continue racing me while QT Puppy and... Well, QT Puppy's going to bag out, but we do see that the Garrosh goes down. And that is Hogger spinning out of danger. They do get a little bit of soak in the meantime and get cocooned. Cocoon picked up by Anubrak is probably a thing to note there. Otherwise, we do see the, as we said, Smash Varian a while ago. We also have High Five Lucio. Wave of Force on the... Oh. Hogger went down. Good teleport by 10. Well, I was going to say it's Wave of Force Leeming and the Rain of Vengeance on Vala. And we're already at the Immortal Walking. Its shield didn't last very long, but it also didn't have much of a shield to begin with. Also note, Vala's already at 16 stacks of her Q build. That is going to start shredding the Immortal. This already is shredding the Immortal at this point. And in a few stacks, it'll start shredding heroes as well. Meanwhile, we can see Tin and Dark Horse fighting. Tin is not having the easiest time in Devarian, but they can still do well, especially now Hogger has taken over the lane once again. Oh, honestly, finds a face full of arrows. Still only 7 stacks on Cutie Puppy. They're not having the easiest time doing this, but Anubrak is a very hard front line to get all the auto attacks into, especially because they can play so in and out, where they can walk at you, try blow you up, but if they don't want to, they just leave. They have 2 free buttons they can use before they have to back out. They can use them in very quick succession, but they do not need to stay around fights for long. Camp being picked up. We can see Neo resetting. Rest of the team making their way down to Hogger. Hogger not quite knowing what's coming yet, but we'll see in a few nowish. In a few nows, but yes, now. And we see Yatre does back up. Meanwhile, that we know that I would like just to see you guys push top. Honestly, yep, as I say, I want you to see you turn around and take top. You know that they were bottom. You have some time. We do see a throw coming out. Honestly, nice done, nice route. QT Puppy getting a bit of stacks once again. I think they're at 8 now, maybe 9. No, still 8. And we see Garrosh is the one in the cocoon. Rough spot for him. Planet Cracker going immediately through them. Dragon Arrow trying to keep Dreadmore alive. Smash coming out to Silver Spy needing to root. They're trying to keep both Dreadmore and themselves alive. However, the dive's coming onto them. They get taken down by the Anubarak. And then we can see the Garrosh going down as well. That's a nice 2 kills for Artemis. And this feels like the first time this game they're actually starting to pull ahead. And we can see that Invade was called, but Yatre did actually manage to capture the camp in time. And to talk about abilities real quick, we do have the Acid Drenched Mandibles on the Anubrak, which is probably the main thing to note. And actually no, the bigger thing to note here is Varian didn't go Shattering Toss. They just went for normal talent of Mortal Strike. So minus healing, but making Tin lose his shield in a matter of moments would have been ideal. I don't know if Tin even realized that it wasn't picked up, because I think they would have just assumed it was going to be picked up, because I certainly did. You could hear by my genuine confusion as to why it wasn't picked up. Good dodge on the orb. Li Ming is just going to keep poking. You really need to stop her from getting that value through. And at this point, you can even send someone to start racing, considering you can see where most people are on the map, and you can generally tell where Ashkin is. And Dark Horse has gone around the side. They know someone is alone, so there may be the quick rotate onto Dark Horse. We can see Cutie Puppy and Silver Spy going down first. Neo finds Cutie Puppy, does get auto-attacked once, and he goes, wait a minute. What? Who auto-attacked me? Nice Dragon Arrow, but even better unstop. I don't know if that was on purpose for the Dragon Arrow, but it did look cool. Now we can see Paul coming out to Tin. Dreadmore and Yatre is in the middle of things. Nice triple stun by that Hogger there. Dreadmore gets hit by the smash, and they will go down. We do see that it is the Planet Cracker going straight through, but Tin also forced to back out. Nice stun at Anduin. They are now for once in trouble. Boot back by 7, and they are just going to get ran at. Tin trying their best to take out Dark Horse. Dark Horse and Cutie Puppy. Tin and Cutie Puppy taking out Dark Horse. Silver Spy still alive somehow. But we can see Neo is going to bring a quick end to that, and that will be them going down. Cutie Puppy finishes the redemption. Tin is trying to get out alive. I don't think Cutie Puppy wants to quite die for him, but he still will do anyway. And just as quick as redemption was finished, redemption vanishes, and he's back at 9 stacks out of the 12. He needs to have that 50%, 100% increase in order. Wait, no, 50% increase in order speed. 2 times as fast. Yeah, 50%. 100% would be insane. Just like, imagine a Hanzo bow at like a Tychus minigun speed. That's just a little bit too much for my liking. And that is the first fort found of the game. As well, Artemis is pulling ahead slowly but surely. So now we've got a decent defense coming up for Bork side Moon. Their DPS is only just, the assassins are only just coming back now. We can see 16s are through for Artemis. Shield has only just dropped now for the side of for Ilarian, I should say. Artemis doing their best to push with it, and Bork side Moon has lost a fort and a gate already. They don't want to lose for keep as well. But it is definitely looking in danger. And we can see the last 16 has been picked up by Lucio for the side of Artemis. We hear Garrosh popping the unstop. An orb from Ashkin finding, again, a good hit. These orbs from Li Ming's doing very well, and no worries, Bacon. Hope you're doing well this evening, by the way. Hogger is calling to do top camp. We can see the rest of the side of Bork, side of the moon, migrating up. Nice safe play by 10, and we can see maybe there's going to be a call for Dark Horse's demise. There's the Dragon Arrow. There is a lot of damage. He does dodge the root. Does go for the smash onto Silver Spy. That is still Varian down already. And even though they're down 16s, that's a good start. But I am doing all right, Bacon. I am hanging in there. I have like a good 3 extra days off these coming 2 weeks. Like a Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Because I'm like out of my city for a little bit. So a little bit slow on the casting, but it'll be nice to get away and have a mental reset considering how work has been. But I'm still doing alright all considering. Yatri realizes they're in an awkward spot. Does go for a little bit of cheeky hits on that dense blasting powder. We can see Neo is running him down. But that is not where you want to be if you're Neo, because Neo just goes splat. Which I imagine we're going to have actually objectives called, well, as I was saying the sentence, I imagine we're going to have objectives called very soon. Lo and behold, it's the objective phase being called. Which I have very much started to get a second nature for when these objectives are going to be called. I don't know the timing, but I do know roughly when it happens. I really one day should just like look at it and figure it out. Tin is slowly doing this camp. Dreadmore losing a lot of her health. Planet Cracker coming straight through everyone, trying to zone them off the camp. No, zone them off the Dreadmore, more to speak. And they do actually get the objective camp, but do get stunned for their efforts. Right, all members are up for the side of Bork, side of Moon. Now is their time to fight, because I think Garrosh is feeling particularly less squishy now that Vala is not here presently. Oh, and top 4 went down. Okay. That very much evens things up in terms of what you need to deal with, especially because that camp is not nice. Stun onto Honestly. Honestly, however, does burrow out. Garrosh is going to be blade waiting middle things. Does have a nice light bomb. Good high five by Lucio, however, we can see Hogger is stuck in the trap. But Tin manages to take out Vala. Tin is going to go for Honestly before they die. They do, however, not quite get that. QT Puppy thrown in. Goes, wait a minute, Dreadmore, I do not want to be here. And jumps back out immediately. And now we see that the QT Puppy is starting the Immortal. Which, they are back at their full redemption stacks. So they'll be burning it down pretty quick, as you can hear of it. As opposed to a lot faster than this normal, but it is a good 50% increase. But we can see now both teams are on the objective. However, it will be going over the Bork side of the moon. Artemis not quite able to get it this time around. And we will have it going bottom lane. Roughly half health. Vala at least will be up in time to defend. That is the bulk of your defense against Immortals, so that is needed. But once again, Vala has been found in two pretty quick succession, a good succession of deaths here. They need to play a little bit safer coming into this phase, considering how it's been going recently for them. And this fort is important for Bork side of the moon because it very much evens up this lane. Unfortunate for Dreadmore, they got Honestly, which honestly is pretty good for the side of Artemis. Nice Dragon Arrow follow-up. That seemed to be in slow-mo. That was a good combo between the team. We do see Dreadmore has been put a cocoon. And Yatre gets hit with an orb, not expecting the Garrosh to disappear from in front of him. Which is probably not the most appreciated magic trick in the book. Yet it is the one that Dreadmore decided to use. Tin going very aggressive. Does get pushed out by 7, not able to get too much on it. Divin dove by Honestly, but that means Honestly escape is down. However, they do have a Lucio to help him out, and they are able to get to safety. But that is now for Anna keep down this one phase, but are the team of Bork side of the moon considering ending? If they catch someone out here, I imagine yes. But I don't know how easy it is. Never mind. That would be it. Honestly, does go down. We can see now that Korkor is viable. 7 goes down as well. And this will be it going down. 10 wants one more murder before it, but Hanzo takes it from them. And that will be the first map of the series. Going over the side of Bork side of the moon. GG, both teams. Well played. Let me change the game summary screen, shall I? So, in terms of stats, we do see Redemption Hanzo being complete. Oh, let's go talents first, actually. Sorry, I should say. Redemption Hanzo is completed. Tin is doing alright. They had 84 stacks out of a possible 120. That is very good, especially considering it wasn't exactly a long map. And 20s were barely found at the end there as well. We do also see Vala had 29 Q stacks, and Varian couldn't quite finish off their level 1. They're at 24 out of the 25 needed for that extra slow. Yeah, extra slow and a longer slow. Everything else kind of made sense here. So I'm always interested to see Planet Cracker, but obviously Tin did make it work. They were able to peel a little bit for the team and get some kills. And in terms of talents, heroes, stats, that's the word. Tin did a lot of siege and a lot of hero damage. He actually had the most in the game, actually beating out Hogger in siege and barely beating out Li Ming in damage. But we can see Hogger did have the most soak, and Varian had the most soak for their own team. So a little bit more for the side of Bork Sun and Moon. But Lucio did an excellent job trying to keep everyone up. Did their best, but couldn't quite get there. Did out heal the Anduin though. So that'll be it for that first map, which is an exciting first map. Definitely Bork, Sun and Moon, and Artemis. You guys did great there. So I would like to see Artemis have a little bit more gumption this time around to see if they can stick it to the Bork and take them down to a map number 3, but we'll find out. Now, the $1 million question is this Infernal Shrines, and now we're going to be sad at the teams and never cast them again? They have a chance of being casted again. It's got Volskaya. Good. Excellent. I was afraid that Bork Side of the Moon had picked Infernal Shrines, and I was going to be unhappy. Because I cast Infernal Shrines so much. But not this time. We will be getting into... It's this game. Yeah, but I've seen it less than Infernal Shrine, so I'm not as angry, Bacon. Which, speaking of which, I'm happy to see you are actually in this map, Bacon, so let me get into it when the game is going to let me. Because it's a very rarely seen hero, as we do see Bacon is on Alexstrasza, Tin on the Mephisto, Cutie Puppy on the Sergeant Hammer, Yatri once again on the Hogger, and Dreadmore is on the... I nearly called it Tahaka, that's wrong, Diablo. And on the other side, we do have 7 on the Anduin, honestly, on the Joanna, Neon, Orthea, Ashkan on the Tychus, and Dark Horse actually rounding things out with the Imperius. Definitely an interesting one to say the least. Not often you do see Imperius picked up, but there's not really any blinds to really stop him. They could swap in Sergeant Hammer if need be to absolutely make Sergeant Hammer's life a hell. So I do actually like pickup. In saying that though, if we do see something such as Alexstrasza going Gift of Life, or is it Lifebinder? I can't remember what the level 10 is. The green big heal. That makes it much harder for those swaps to find the kills. And that's probably what you're needing in this situation. Which, speaking of the situation, let's have a look at talents. Because we do see it as Circle Build Alexstrasza. I can't remember what it's called. Abundance? Circle of Life. Never mind. Overwhelming Power on Mephisto. Unyielding Power on Mephisto. Hoggo is going normal build, normal build, normal build. And we see that immediately stacking is the... I nearly called him wrong hero. Artemis. Artemis is stacking. But I imagine we may see Tychus pick up something at level... There's 2 talents at level 4 that can be stacking for Tychus, so that'll be fun to look at. And we can also go that Piercing Light, which in this composition is not a terrible idea. Especially on these objectives. These objectives do lean very well to stacking that up. And the 10% spell power bonus, while it doesn't feel like much at first as you're slowly stacking it, with hiccups, can be a lot. It can very much scale up to a decent proportion. Now see good camp discipline by the side of Artemis. They do pick up their fortification camp. Sergeant Hammer's being run down again. Did get swapped by Dark Horse, but is trying to keep down the rate at which Dark Horse stacks. Which they could all honestly sit behind their gate and make it so Dark Horse doesn't really have much of a chance to stack at all this game. But they are at least wanting to get some of the sort because Dark Horse isn't the fastest clear in the world. So level 4s are coming through now. Oh, there comes the swap. Does have unstop. QT Penguin. I could shoot him into the gate. No, he has unstop now. You can't do that. Subdue Joanna. Orpheus going that kind of dread build with a little bit of hybridization into the Q. And level 4s are also found for Bork side of the moon. Dark Horse does go up to get the camp, but they have found themselves an awkward spot. Does get stunned to wall. They're likely going to... Oh, that is a good swap by Dark Horse. And they do get out. That is a little bit of a failed gank attempt there for Bork side of the moon. Yet QT Puppy is still having a time of their life sieging. Right, I've watched the offlane for long enough because we also see the Piercing Light Anduin and Inverrhythm on the Tychus. So a lot of stacking coming right away. And that's it. I do like the pickup of the ease on Bacon. I do like the Flame Talent at level 4 that does do a lot of slow. 60% is really nothing to be seen at. 10 does barely get up for a little bit, does get the heal, but is still going to be in danger at the end of it. I've had a lag spike, and in that lag spike, Mephisto died. Whoops. I bet Mephisto didn't experience that lag spike. I doubt it would have made a difference, but it would have been very unfortunate. Oh, we see Neo has been hit into wall. Yartrate may be considering doing their own objective of their camp very shortly. Because both teams are getting pretty close to 7s now, and I think it can be Bork side of the moon squeezing out just that little bit earlier. Then might Alex Traza had picked up the camp. I guess it had already been cleared, just no one had actually picked it up. That seems like the most likely outcome at this current point in time. And wave been cleared. 10, unfortunately going a little bit too awkwardly in. Does get rooted for the efforts. Doesn't quite get hit by the full. I thought Joe completed Subdue for a brief. I'm like, how the hell did she do that? She was all the way over here. But no, she had not. She just picked up a level 7 of Sins Exposed, which good pick up an Alex Traza. Alex Traza is really like one of the healers of all time in this game. They heal. They have a little bit of slows, but their main kit is healing, and they do a certain loss of it. So Joanna going that heal reduction is going to do a lot into Bacon. Neo trying to get aggressive, does hit Dreadmore. They're looking to step back up, all while QT Puppy peppering them. So really we need to start Neo peppering QT Puppy with these E's. We see action, throwing grenades at them. Kind of these are the major tools that will really help out deal with QT Puppy. Just a lot of ship and burst onto that hammer. Which you can see, honestly, steps up, does get a nice blind, does stun Dreadmore. However, Dreadmore pushes her area out, does stun Dark Horse. Dark Horse taking a lot, does get pulled out of danger. There is a lot of damage coming out. We do see the Iron Skin pop and Ashkin getting very low as well. Dragon Queen Alex is so hard to push into, and I can see why you were calling it discount Infernal Shrines, because, well, Alex Traza on a point. Is Alex Traza on a point at the end of the day? It does a lot of damage. It is quite hard to push into, because it also does a lot of healing. Circle being dropped over time on. Yartrate comes back up. Honestly, is actually going to take a lot of damage early on. Turret was dropped in the middle of the point. Nice stun onto the Tychus, but Tychus gets out safely. Honestly, and Artemis very low. Artemis swapped back in and doesn't get out. Unfortunate, but it does happen. You see, that is going to be the big old fire lizard in there, and running after it is the dragon, who actually just mounts. Which I'd imagine she is going to get in, yes. Neo getting one level Q. Does eventually move. Oh, where's another Q? There it is. Another Q. Nope, that's a chomp. Another Q. There's the E. Another Q. Another Q. There's a Q. I was like, why is it taking so long? But no, there it is. But I guess they are also concerned about the wave core itself. But I do like there is a reasonable split here for Bork side of the moon. As they're all getting soaked, Yartrade does have to spin through Dark Horse. They're going to be fine. Or while this objective is still pushing bottom 7 and Neo not quite clearing it out yet. But Tychus has come down. They realize, wait a minute, I can stack on that thing. You can see it's going down much faster now. Tychus has joined the fray. Right, and we do have level 10s online for Bork side of the moon. We can see that it is Napalm Strike on the Sergeant Hammer. I don't know why I started with her. Or see the Durance of Hat Mephisto. Shockwave on the Hogger. Alex Traza didn't quite make it. Nope, there we go. It is Lifebinder. And we do see that Lightning Breath has been picked up by Diablo. On the other hand, we do have Light Bomb and when Falling Sword Joanna, so there's going to be that fun combo right there if they pull it off. Comedy Odin Tychus. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Nice triple stun and a good secondary triple stun. Alex Traza healing up Sergeant Hammer. QT Puppy took a lot, but honestly going to survive. And that is unfortunately Diablo going down. That is a lot of that's all the souls down. That is a lot of his bulk suddenly gone. 10 second lot does go down as well. That poor Mephisto. I think so, as we do have Suppression Pulse on Commandeer Odin and be crushing Jaws to round everything out. Which nice. Just what you need. And we can now see that they are going to be doing that middle camp. They're going to be doing that support camp, getting that item. That Bionic Medic does actually a decent amount of extra healing in the middle of a fight, so picking it up is never a bad choice. Right, sorry, I've just had to stand up briefly because I'm just quickly doing something behind me. I'm going to try my best to still cast if we do see everyone running mid. Ashkin does back out to safety. They're not quite wanting to be lizard food today. They're not going to be the lovely little insect on his plate. He is just going to dash out, which I think is ironic calling Tychus an insect considering what the Terran have to fight. You see, mid fort actually did go down in the end. A little bit unfortunate there for the side of... What is happening there? Sorry about this, guys. I'm trying my best to stay near the mic and move the camera around when I'm able to, but my hands are a little bit preoccupied with just sorting out some paperwork that I needed to do that I just remembered, but I am back fully now. Right. Sorry if I got very quiet there. Sometimes it does happen when I'm moving around away from the mic while doing some things in my little office space around me. Right, level 13's approved for both teams now. Actually, we do see Hysteria picked up. There's a Light Bomb Falling Sword. Does hit only Dreadmore, but Dreadmore may actually be fine for this because there's no minigun to finish him off. Does get hit with a Chomp. Nice Chomp! Pulling Dreadmore, Tin, and QT Puppy in, but not really the damage here to follow up. And it is actually Hysteria. Yes, so there will be those more heroics there from Tin. I do like the pickup from Tychus going Neo Steel Coating. It makes it much harder for them to go down to Tin. But they are still susceptible to QT Puppy, who is slowly wandering up the lane, putting out some mines, making sure no one can come in from underneath. But we can see that there is some safe rotation. And top objective is up now is probably the important thing to note. Nice boot by Yatre. Tin gets a point blank. Well, not point blank by the time Honestly got pushed back, but they got a very good Durance Survey onto Honestly, but Honestly did have the Iron Skin ready, so they'll be fine. Dark Horse going to try to be sneaky, does get found by some mines. Which, unfortunate for them, they didn't mind that too much, however. Holger starts the objective. Tingun trying to get what damage they can. A little bit high. Dark Horse has found QT Puppy, so we need to now see Dreadmore actually hugging QT Puppy's location. They're wanting to make sure they can jump in if need be and make sure QT Puppy will be fine. A lot of damage coming out onto them. Nice pull after the flip tried to happen. However, Dark Horse is still in danger. Does get hit by the shockwave. Light Bomb wasn't on the Joanna this time, so it was just a dry falling sword, which unfortunately then they are still in the range of QT Puppy, who does have that movement, does have that large auto attack range, and is slowly making their way up the lane. By slowly, I mean slowly as hell, but they are doing it slowly, and that is a dead Orphea. And now the call is to just siege. Diablo has been left on the objective because he is arguably, or actually correctly, the worst siege on the team of Bork side of the moon. And all the while, they're still hitting the structure. They do fight it eventually, but that will be a good building take. Right, Yatre is clearing that wave, getting a nice little bit of damage on it, spinning through the wave, killing it. Nice, nice, nice. And now we see Diablo once again getting in the car. We'll probably take it bottom, I'd imagine. But we may take a detour either mid or top, as it is nice sunny location this time of year. Sure, it is cold out, as you can see the ice, but it is a nice bright day, and they are having a wonderful time in the Volskaya Foundry. Anyway, back to the actual talking about the game and not just riffing for my own needs. Level 16 are through, so I'm going to briefly open up talents. Interesting, once again, we do see mechanical know-how being picked up, just because a lot of the time I have seen that Giant Killer picked up at level 16, because it can do a lot, to say the least. But in saying that, mechanical know-how has also been doing excellently for the Sergeant Hammers that I've witnessed. It's just an on-demand, here's a lot more attack damage. Oh, Light Bomb, Falling Sword, Revulsion, Suppression Pulse, just a lot. Just a lot, really. But that is a very good turnaround by Bork side of the moon. They found 3 kills there, including a laser pick on Joe. And now this might be an end call coming out from the team. Commandeer Odin's being dropped to see if it can slow down the push that is happening here, but there's no guarantee that will be the case. That's not it. That's not it. Sorry. It's control shift. It's control shift? Oh, now what the hell? But no, we can see that it is going to be a fort going down. But no, the team will not follow. The team will not follow in. They already have that win condition bottom open for when the bottom objective does come up. So they don't need to push in there anymore. They have it open. They have it ready. And if it's a good enough fight, we'll have that next objective, which will be soon rather than later. It will be something that they can win off. And we're setting up for another camp. Nice damage here from Mephisto. There's a camp pretty quickly taken, even without Mahogany. Dreadmore, it's yours, Dreadmore. Yep, here we go. Right, on the left-hand side, we do have Artemis cleaning up their camp. Finally at the 16 mark, and they're just having a quick little geese at what they're going to pick. We do see Tychus is leaning in towards that heavier auto attack, kind of percent damage type abilities. Not going to quite get the grenade finish, but I guess you only really want the grenade as a finisher if you're going for bigger AR into things such as Diablo. 10 getting a nice durance. We do see only one pulled out. There's the second pull on by 7. And that now is a lot of abilities used. That's both the trust issues buttons used. And now Diablo is in the middle of things. So that lightning breath with the spell power going. That's a nice 2 kills again, 3 kills. They're in an awkward spot, so they are going to have to run bottom if they want to end, which they may as well try to get at least some damage on core, or you can even break through a sidewall, go that way. But no, they are just going to run straight bottom. Right. 10 goes for the durance. Doesn't quite find it. Good dash by Neo. And QT Puppy is going to have just to play a game of avoid the hands. Right, we're starting to get down on those. Death time is now 10 seconds left on now the last person of Joanna. But the core is dropping pretty quickly. They do have to get through here faster. 20 is nearly through the team. The team members of Artemis is coming back now. They do get the suppression pulse off, but there's still all 5 members up. And unfortunately for the core, it couldn't quite handle that any longer. And that is the first map of the series going over. Well, actually, there's the second map of the series and the series itself. Going over the side of Bork, side of Moon. GG's to both sides. Well played. Let me have a look at game summary screen and see how that went. In terms of talents, I do like the Alex Strauss to pick up Circle at level 1. Interesting to see them 4 and 7 going with it. I mean, it worked out for Bacon, so hey, all was fair. Artemis, Dark Horse only had for 129 stacks on the auto attack. Not the fastest stacking, but still does a decent amount of damage. Joanna with Shield Bastion, quite fine subdue. We see 63 stacks on Ashkin, and 4 on the Infinite Piercing Light. Mephisto did finish their skull build as well. So yeah, that's kind of really the main things I want to note about talents. I do like the pickup of Neo Steel Coating. It definitely helps into this Mephisto, into the Alex, into the Diablo, as that helps you, and even the Hogger, because it helps you live through a lot of damage. 75 spell armor for 4 seconds is nothing to sneeze at. That's essentially the whole lightning breath. Especially even with Hellfire charged up, that's still quite hard to deal with. And in terms of stats, good healing by Bacon did fall ahead of 7, which Alexstrasza does have the most healing of the game. She can very much do that. I think so. It's a 60k siege onto Tychus, but Sergeant Hammer and Fisto did share a large bulk of it, but there was the... what's it called? Protector helping with their siege to help Mephisto give it high, because Mephisto isn't typically known to be a siege hero, but Sergeant Hammer is. So what I'm going to do is throw over the game view screen, map view screen, and we can see what happened that series. And I'm going to actually have a look at picking a couple teams and seeing what we have next, because I will be doing yet another series. And it will be team name versus citrus colored squash. Because I'm like, you know what, I haven't casted any of these teams yet, I think, this season. I don't know. But that was, I have to say, a good series by Artemis, Bork, Sun and Moon. Bork, Sun and Moon definitely did well. Artemis had some very good moments, but unfortunately for them, it just didn't quite fall in their favor. But sometimes it is the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. That proverbial cookie does struggle sometimes. But right, that will be it for me for this series. What I'm going to do is ping a couple of... I hit insects. It's summer here, so insects are still flying around a fair amount. But I have to say, because I know you two are in the chat, Lise, Bacon and Silver both very well played this series. Good healing from both of you. So I'm going to put myself onto a break. I'm going to ping the next few teams. I know they're probably not going to be around, but it is nice at least to go, hey, by the way, if you are awake for whatever reason for an East Coast team, I'm doing this if you're so inclined to join. So I'll go on break. I'll be back in a few. I wish everyone has a good evening, and hopefully you stick around for the next series as well when I organize my actual next screen. There we go. See you in a few.